Hi, guys, and welcome to Astroreader PH. Thanks for dropping by for some astrology. So, this video is about the possible reasons why there may be a lot of depression going around these days. Um, I see and receive a lot of reports of depression these days ever since the pandemic began. So I think it's worth discussing what could be the possible astrological reasons for this kind of energy going on right now that is making so many people depressed and hopeless or just plain apathetic, um, lifeless these days. So, is there also hope? We're going to try to find that out today. Why do we live in such dark times? Yeah. So the short answer that I believe may be that there's so much Aquarius energy going on these days. Since the pandemic began, there's been this kind of Aquarius waterfall. There's an overload of Aquarius energy. And we also had this great conjunction of Aquarius, Jupiter and Saturn conjoining in Aquarius in December 2020. And the whole of 2021 has had both of these planets mostly in Aquarius. So, as we can see, there's a lot of Aquarius influences right now. And to discuss this depression energy, we must first discuss what the nature of this Aquarius energy is. We have to first understand the sign of Aquarius so we can understand its possible relation to depression and this overall dark energies. So, what is Aquarius as a sign? What does it really stand for? Aquarius is the water bearer. It's the 11th sign of the zodiac. It's an air sign. So its qualities are mostly mental, intellectual, and social. It's detached and cerebral because that's what air signs mostly are. It's also a fixed sign, so it tends to be stubborn. It dislikes change. It's a slow and steady energy, except for random spikes, because Aquarius is also known for its random bursts of energy or intuition, because it's also ruled by Uranus in the modern sense. Speaking of its rulers, Aquarius is ruled by the planets Saturn in the traditional sense and Uranus in the modern astrology. So, as we mentioned earlier, the quality of Aquarius of being a little bit random sometimes, it's mostly due to Uranus, which rules sudden events like earthquakes and lightning. So, what are Aquarius traits? Aquarius are mostly concerned with these qualities: humanism, brotherhood, friendship, rationality, and collectivism. It's a humanist, primarily. Even its symbol, the water bearer, is a human compared to most signs which are non human, or animals, or even things like Libra, the scales. It tends to be popular with groups and networks because it's so connected to most people. So most Aquariuses tend to have these large networks and know a lot of people. They're also ultra rational, sometimes to the point of pessimism because they can overthink things. They're also future forward. That is why technology tends to be related to Aquarius, because technology always has to concern itself with the bleeding edge and the future, to innovate. Aquarius is also pretty much a little bit eccentric. It's intellectual, mental, and scientific in thinking. Actually, it's considered the exaltation or the best placement of Mercury, which is the planet of thinking and communication. It thinks a lot before it expresses. It's very cerebral. It's intuitive and has random spikes of insight. It's very focused on brotherhood and friendship, as you can see. So it tends to accommodate others' identities, which can be a little bit debilitating for its ego and self confidence. It's also concerned with collective endeavors, and it dislikes established authorities because established authorities sort of form a classist system that tends to not be equal. And Aquarius likes equality, so it sort of has a rebellious streak against authorities, sort of anarchist streak. It rules computers and the internet because, as we said, technology, that's an Aquarius thing. It helps us keep more connected, and it's peak Mercury energy because you have to be quite clever to handle these things. It's connected to the 11th house, and it kind of shows the dark and depressive side of Saturn because it's so ultra rational and it tends to overthink things. Um, Saturn is its traditional ruler, and Aquarius kind of shows its dark and depressive side when all hope is lost. Uh, uh, its Uranus connection, on the other hand, is about its intuitive and random side, like earthquakes and electricity. It has sharp insights, sudden insights like lightning. Aquarius energy is why certain shows these days have a darker quality or energy. Particularly famous shows like Squid Game and Alice in Borderland. I happen to like Alice in Borderland more than Squid Game, but yeah, those shows and other related or similar shows have a lot of Aquarian undertones. These shows or movies depict the darker side of humanity or the uglier side of things. Um, Aquarius comes after Capricorn, which is the sign of material success and reaping rewards. So, Aquarius marks the beginning of consolidating success or limited success. This alone is enough to cause depression in some people, the feeling of being limited or settling down after reaching the peak of the mountain. So, that can lead to some apathy as well. Its opposite sign is Leo, the sign of fun and romance, of hobbies, self expression, of optimism, of creativity, and recreation. Leo needs to express itself. It has a very defined identity. It needs to have fun and enjoyment in life. It's passionate and it's concerned with love and romance. It's competitive and it's proud. It loves games. It also rules children because children tend to act themselves. They also like to play and have fun. Um, Leo weaknesses are probably friendships, groups, and it can get a little dramatic or irrational since it is more of a creative, unlike Aquarius, who is more cerebral or intellectual. Uh, it's Leo is also old-fashioned in a timeless sense or traditional, which kind of counteracts Aquarius's innovative side. Leo identity is fixed, so it's harder to be more popular because in order to be more popular or more inclusive, sometimes we need to sacrifice some of our characteristics or personality traits. So Leo energy tends to be more competitive, and sometimes it leads to catty behavior like mean girls behavior or jock or athlete kind of energy. Leo is ruled by the sun. It's a ray of sunshine. It's cheerful and optimistic. Leos can appear sometimes like they don't really suffer, but they're just strong people generally. The tarot card of strength is connected to Leo. So they weather more storms due to their strong faith or belief, or there's just their plain optimism, since they find it so easy to see the fun in things. So while we're here, I would like to ask you to please like and subscribe. It really helps my new page. So yeah, thanks. So as we're discussing, Leo energy is sort of lacking now because of the overflow of Aquarius energy. So the restrictions have closed most places of fun and enjoyment. And people are not encouraged to be themselves and be happy these days. And they closed the cinemas, the concerts back then, and the places of fun. There are also dark themes in the media, as we've discussed earlier. And even the ruler of Leo, the sun, is limited by lockdowns because people are not encouraged to go out and get some sun. Children also suffer more now with the restrictions because they tend to not get the proper childhood since there are so many restrictions on their freedom right now. There are also romance and love struggles because of the mediocrity of life right now and the overall lack of enjoyment. Plus, people's faces are covered, so they don't really have much of an incentive to look good since they're so stuck at home. Leo also rules hair, and salons were closed, so it's harder to style up these days. Meanwhile, the Aquarius related things are moving forward, like technology, especially cryptocurrency, collective ideologies, since people are forming groups according to their beliefs these days. And most sides think they're working for the good of humanity. And that's a very Aquarian endeavor. So Saturn and Jupiter are both in Aquarius, but Saturn is the bigger influence. Saturn in Aquarius is the main reason for the dark times now. Saturn is dark and restricting in itself, but in Aquarius it gets much more powerful in this dark energy, being in its traditional rulership. It's also why fear may be at its highest right now. Saturn rules fear because it's sort of the quintessential matrix. Saturn rewards hard work done and wisdom earned in the past. So, if you've been diligent in Aquarius related pursuits, like if you've faced a lot of difficult times or dark times of feeling like a failure, or if you faced difficult truths in life many times before, if you've worked on your intuition and honing your intellect on being rational and being properly informed, then you'd probably do better these days. Saturn also favors delay and caution, so it will be best to delay or limit Aquarian feelings of depression. Saturn would also reward you for taking more caution in before you align with certain groups. So you must ask yourself first if your group or a particular network of people is influencing you to be more toxic or depressed. So are they really good for you? Those are questions that you might start asking yourself these days. Essentially, what Saturn is teaching us is to save our tears for another day or to find the light in the darkest times of life. And being dramatic will get you nowhere these days. Being emotional. Aquarius, after all, is the exaltation of Mercury, so you're being called to formulate brilliant solutions to your problems instead of being emotional or dramatic. You have to be more cerebral, be ingenious, be resourceful and clever. You think out of the box and use your rationality. And if you're trapped, you must formulate your own escape. I think that is why the powers that be are promoting shows like Squid Game and Alice in Borderland because these shows are concerned with brilliance and thinking out of the box, of outsmarting the the troubles that come by. It's also warning us about friendships and people and their dark side. Uh, I think the powers that be tend to promote these kinds of shows to further a particular way of thinking that is usually aligned with the astrological times. After all, even the that be are under the universe. So, yeah, dark humor may be a thing that could help you cope these days. The important thing here is that this will pass. Saturn in Aquarius is not permanent. The light will eventually return. And if you can't find the light, then be the light. Currently, Saturn just went direct. So in the near future, we'll feel some progress. We have one more year to go of Saturn in Aquarius. Saturn leaves Aquarius on around the end of 2022. So the last year of Saturn in a sign tends to be quite karmic and rewarding if you worked hard on the lessons. But if you laxed a little bit, or if you slacked, then you may also get some karmic returns for that. So there are rewards for enduring until the end. That's why I recommend doing your best to live day by day, to see the littlest good in every bad, and see the light in the darkest corners. And if you do this, then I believe Saturn will reward you towards the end of Saturn in Aquarius. After all, that's what Saturn tends to do. Saturn tends to put us through these trials and obstacles so that we learn something out of it and become stronger. And towards the end of these tribulations, then there's a reward for those who are worthy. This is just a part of the cycle of the universe, and there are still small oases in the desert, smaller cycles. So yeah, never give up and just keep trudging along. Eventually, the time for celebration and fun and games and being under the sun and happy, creative again, Leo energy, eventually we'll go back to that. But for now, these are the lessons that we must learn and we must endure. So just hold on and try to be more mercurial and clever and fashion solutions for your problems instead of just crying about them or being emotional and feeling toxic. And that's it. My discussion for the astrology of depression in the pandemic. And I hope you enjoyed that or got something out of it. Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe. I appreciate it. Goodbye.